I hope that there are things like, again, I don't think that there's suddenly going to be scoring 40 points a game. But I'm really hoping that there are signs of something different. I've asked around a lot this week of like, what could that look like? And, one thing that people bring up is like substitution patterns, which I think is pretty interesting because substitution patterns are usually more of the position coach.
Right, like running back, especially.
Yeah, yes. And that's the one that everyone always brings up, right? Is like, what the hell is Barthel doing? So that would be, do we see a difference in substitution patterns? Is the offense, quote unquote, in rhythm a little bit more? Are the routes different? Are they running something to allow for like a Ja'Cory Barney, to use his speed in a better way? A Thomas Fidone to use his size in the way it should be used versus the way it has been used. Is there anything like that we see? I don't know. I don't know the answer. My guess would be no. Maybe a few little things, but I don't think in the aggregate that we're going to be like, whoa, the offense was way better today, because it's just not enough time to make massive changes. Right. But again, if you can be a little bit more efficient, if they can get a good day from the defense, then I think the day's going to be a one-score game, but I think the next 3 games are going to be one-score games. I think every game is going to go down to the wire again. I think.
Can you imagine? Can you freaking imagine 3 one-score losses to finish it? I thought I had already entered the depths of hell when Scott Frost lost to Colorado in Boulder. That was 6 years ago now. Good Lord, 5 years ago. But I think it's going to happen, Jack. We could go if that would happen. It's interesting what you were talking about too. On the talent discussion about the offense, do we agree? My thought is maybe except for the running backs, this offense is not squeezing the talent out of a bunch of these players on this offense.
No. And I think the wide receivers are, again, the perfect exhibit for
the wide receiver
that whole discussion.
Nair and Banks. Let's just say it.
Especially Banks. Especially
Banks. Banks is the poster child for that whole discussion. 100%. And then Raiola, too, now. But, yeah. Banks, Nair, Fidone, okay? For those 3, I think, are the top on that. And probably the running backs, too, to some degree. While, again, they could definitely – they need more talent at that position. I still think they should be getting more out of Emmett. Emmett Johnson was better last year.
Yeah.
He was better last year. They're not getting enough. Ramir has been better. All of these running backs, maybe with the exception of Dowdell, have been better than they are this year at previous times. So across the board, they're not getting it doesn't feel like they're squeezing the full talent out of skill position players on this offense.
Well, hell, even Jack, who do we all collectively agree right now is the best skill player that Nebraska has? Collectively, we agree it's Barney, right?
Barney, probably.
And yet, I don't feel like they're using him to the best ability. I'm going to pull up his numbers real fast. But you look at Ja'Cory Barney.
He still does. I was just going to say, remember how we felt when he touched the ball at the beginning of the year?
Yep.
And you were like, oh, dude, this dude is electric.
Yep.
He still looks good, but you don't quite have that feeling, right?
They're not using him properly. Jack, so he has 3 games this year where, in terms of yards per catch, he averaged in double figures. The opener versus UTEP, but that's because he caught 1 ball for 10 yards. The Purdue game, he only caught 2 balls for 28 yards. But then UCLA, 4 catches, 78 yards, 19.5 yards per catch. He had a long of 40. Overall, he's only averaging 8.1 yards per catch. A guy with that kind of speed should not be averaging 8.1 yards per catch. And I think a lot of that is how they are using him. I don't think this is a Barney problem. It is a Nebraska offensive problem. He should be getting the ball in space with plenty of room to run and to use his speed to his advantage. He is a guy
that any space on the field ever for anyone. That's why it feels like they're playing against 13 guys all the time.
Yeah, that's the guy that I want. If everyone's done the question of okay, how does Satterfield, who benefits the most? And everyone starts with Raiola, and I think that's fair. A lot of people I heard bring up Fidone, also fair, though he doesn't really use tight ends as much as maybe people would like.
And Barney Fidone actually was getting some use the last few weeks.
Barney is my answer. But Ja'Cory Barney is my answer of a guy who I hope benefits the most. Because if he benefits the most, the offense benefits the most. And then, you're scoring maybe a touchdown more per game.
And Satterfield likes that type of player. You go back and the one everybody's talked about this week is Tavon Austin.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of the wide receiver, small size that is fast, and you can use as a running back. You can use as a wide receiver. You can use in the short pass game and the deep pass game. Yeah, and I would love to see players in space with the ball or available to catch a pass in space. There are all of these simple things about this offense that we just haven't seen this year that you see in any normal offense.